Aries, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for October 10th through the 16th, 2016. I'm Athen, and this channel is about using the real constellations in the sky, known as Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link down below for more information. All right, so Aries, this week we have a lot going on, astrologically speaking. We do have a full moon taking place, which is going to be at the week's end on Saturday and Sunday. And so this is going to be involving your 12th house. So as the week unfolds, there is this culmination of a lot of the new beginnings that have started with maybe your work, your routine, your regimens, your daily activities. That was the last new moon in your 6th house. So it could be a culmination of a lot of that. And as we get into the weekend, realizing the importance of having both the physical, material, routine and improvement and all that stuff taken care of, while at the same time detaching, letting go. We're going to have another full moon in Pisces. This is your 12th house, and this has been what has been emphasized over the past many years, like 7-8 years with Uranus here, helping you find liberation, helping you find freedom in your life when you do let go and detach. And that's exactly what this full moon will be emphasizing. It's going to be within a very close conjunction of that Uranus, suggesting that spiritual liberation there of the 12th house. So balance is always key with all full moons. I think it's still great to be focused on your daily activities, which we'll talk more about, and your work and your crafts. But as we approach the weekend, again, letting go of everything that's not in your immediate control. Is a great way of working with this full moon, maybe getting some of that alone time, spiritual development, etc. All right, so let's go ahead and break this down in terms of how the week unfolds. We've got the week sort of split up into two. We got this first half of the week energy and the second half of the week. So the first half does have Mercury going over Jupiter in the 6th. So there has been possibilities and potentials for you here with your work, routine, and regimen. So it is just an excellent time for the next year plus for you to continue to learn more about that personal development and perhaps even seeing some opportunities through your work. Some of you might actually see some of that earlier in the week with Mercury, who does naturally rule that 6th house of yours. And maybe even too feeling a bit open-minded since Mercury does rule your 3rd as well. All right, so that's going to be that aspect. Mars, your ruler, is going to be sextiling up to Neptune first half of the week. So on a minor note, you could be feeling perhaps easygoing, maybe willing to detach a bit and go with the flow, maybe involving some of those aspirations or group things could be pulling you there. And this has all been a Mars in your 9th house, helping you expand your horizons right now. So it is just still great for you to open your mind to new possibilities, whether it's through philosophy, higher learning, university studies, or maybe quite literally, some of you might be traveling, going for more walks, nature, things like that, that open those horizons. So that's still excellent. And you'll notice a lot of that is becoming more transformative. In fact, you're going to be transforming and changing over these coming weeks as your ruler gets closer to that Pluto in Sagittarius. So being open to change and changing belief systems, changing perspectives so that you can open those horizons there. All right, Venus, on a minor note, will be trining up to Chiron, so maybe there's some healing with relationships taking place this first half of the week as well. Maybe feeling rejuvenated with those, maybe even too with your material finances. All right, and then as we go into the second half, we have Mercury, who, although was conjoining Jupiter the first half, does go into some challenging aspects here this second half of the week, starting with Mars. So a square up to your ruler, I think it's very important here around Thursday time period. Bring extra attention to the communication, bring extra attention to this work, to the routine, just to make sure nothing is going to any extremes. Because with a square from a ruler, sometimes it can be that there's miscommunication, misunderstanding, maybe some things clashing at work or whatever it is you do on a daily level. So it's always good to take a sort of step back, give it some space, bring extra attention to what is being communicated, to the correspondence and things like that. So it is coming from the right place. And as a result, you'll find that it can be very constructive, as I was saying, for you to continue to develop those everyday things there. Now, Mercury will be sextiling up to Saturn on a minor note. So there is a good, again, productive and constructive energy that I think could be implemented with the 6. And then as we go into the weekend with that full moon, Mercury will be squaring up to Pluto. So again, the emphasis here of detachment. So really this whole second half of the week, sort of giving it some space, detaching. It can be perhaps deep, maybe some deep communications, some deep changes needing to take place with yourself, or again, with that personal development. And I think just an openness to change and to be open to allowing that ego to take a back seat and allowing us to not get too fixated on any particular outcomes or wanting things to be a certain way or to own them, possess them, control them. That's all what the mind does, what the ego does, and that's what Pluto helps us strip away. So although Mercury is not your ruler in this case, I think it could be involving maybe some of those everyday experiences. So just a heads up with that. And again, I think particularly with communication and with the work stuff. All right, so those are the major aspects going on this week. The most important being this full moon. So this now high point at the end of the week. There's a good momentum about this week, moving things forward. Again, I think it's about those sixth house matters. And over the weekend, perhaps giving some space, maybe getting some alone time, meditative time, reflecting on things a bit in your overall life, the overall context of where you can have perhaps a bit more of that beingness and peace in your life. And I think you can find a lot of that very liberating with Uranus. All right, so Aries, have a fantastic week. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.